Hi, this is Kaleem of MarketPhotography.com. I'd like to welcome you, and I hope the information I share with you in this video is of value. I want to ask, if you're not a subscriber to my newsletter, go to AmateurPhotographyTips.com and subscribe. The newsletter is free. I have lots of free photography resources that I think you'll enjoy. And if you have a passion for photography, then you'll enjoy that newsletter and the resources that are involved. One of the ebooks that I made available, for example, is on how to get photography customers, and this video is an update on that strategy. One of the ebooks suggested to subscribers and photographers to make their services available to nonprofit organizations, community-based organizations. They're always having community events, and as a rule they plan their activities pretty good, but they don't plan to have a photographer. You show up, it'd be good if they pay you, but as a rule my experience has been they don't pay you till after they get to know you for whatever the reason, but that's just been my experience. But I'll shoot their community event, and then I'll go back and deliver the photos to them. And I built a relationship with them over the years. And that relationship has translated itself into many other arenas for me. Many of the people that work for these nonprofit organizations, for example, have asked me to do portraits or their event photography. And so it's turned out to be very valuable for me. However, now I'm able to get paid jobs, get prices of $3,000 and up for a photography job. And just a few short years ago, I never would have dreamed that I'd be able to get that price. Well, actually, maybe I did dream of it, but from a practical sense, I didn't know how I would be able to do it, because I was valuing photography by standards that just didn't make sense for me as a business. And now what I know about valuing photography and how I value it, I'm better able to price my work, price the photography. Unlike other photographers who go by artistic standards, I make sure I give the clients and the customers the results that they're looking for, and consistently they'll pay me for that. In this ebook, I suggested that photographers make relationships with community-based and nonprofit organizations and build relationships, and business comes out of that. And you turn out to be their go-to photographer. So they'll ask you to shoot their events, but they'll ask you for other photography services. If you continue to build a relationship, stay in touch with them, attend their activities, and the photographs you take, share with them. You can always ask them, do you have a budget for this account? Because sometimes, do you have a budget for this activity? Sometimes within the account for the event or the activity, they have a marketing account. But if you don't remind them that they should take pictures to document this activity, put it into their archives, they don't see the value of it. So as a photographer, it's important that you bring that up. But trust me, they'll appreciate you more for it. What I found in this nonprofit community then is two basic niches. I was able to get a lot of events, and in another video I talk about how I price my event photography. I charge from $125 to $175 an hour, 2-hour minimum for event photography. That was one of the things that I had learned that I was able to get quite a bit of by building relationships with nonprofit and community-based organizations. But the most important, valuable piece was executive portraits, and that's where I get the $3,000 on jobs. And actually, I've gotten more than that. But it sounds like some internet hype if I tell you those figures. But it's how I value my work, and so I don't just sell photography to clients. I sell the value of what I do, and in this case, executive portraits, people want to look like leaders. They want to look as authority. So it's important that the picture not only look good, but it conveys the look that they want conveyed with executive portraits. One of the things that I've found in almost all organizations, there are people who hate taking photos. They hate it. They'd rather run across a freeway than to take photos. But when you're part of an executive team, you have to do it. Well, I massage them pretty good, and I work with these type folks, so they at least put up with me as I'm taking the photos, and 9 out of 10 actually like the experience. It does take much longer to work with them, but in this case, once again, I push the value of how they want others to see them. Usually people who are afraid of taking photos are real self-conscious. They have a poor self-concept. Understanding that as a photographer, my conversation with them was, how do you want others to see you? The legacy that you leave, how do you want that conveyed? And that's what I match in the portraits that I take of them, and that minimizes often their fear. But I learned that by building relationships with nonprofit organizations, number one, and number two, learning to value photography. One of the challenges I had when I tried to sell my work was, how much should I price my photography? What can I get from it? What I understand now is I get the price that I think my photography is worth. That's one of the reasons I can charge $3,000, $5,000, as high as $8,000 for my work. You might ask, how does it feel when people don't pay or say I'm too expensive? I found out that getting rejected for a $75 job feels the same as getting rejected for a $7,500 job. But in this case, when I sell my work for $3,000 and up, I actually went on Craigslist and advertised for sales reps. And so there are a lot of people out of work, a lot of very good salespeople. I conveyed to them the value that I sell, and I pay them 12%. So the $3,000, they get 12% of that. They bring me a contract for $7,500, they get 12% of that. They like that. I like that because I don't have to sell. All I have to do is the work. And with the prices that I get, I don't have to rush. I take my time, and if I make mistakes, I can keep shooting. I now have some very good equipment. Of course, I'm obligated to keep my skills up as a photographer. However, what I want to convey in this video is how I built a business, but how I get paid what I get paid is how I learned to value photography. If you look around, you'll see more and more how important photographers are to the world. And sometimes it comes so easy to us, we forget about that. But think about how much a photograph is worth years down the road. Well, to a photographer, the value doesn't grow. For a photographer that's paying attention, the value is there as soon as you press that shutter button and create that image. Based on that, then you can expand beyond the boxes that so many of us photographers limit ourselves to. I hope I didn't go too long in this video. I'd like to ask if you have any comments or questions, put them below. And I'm also going to put some links to some of the resources that I might have referred to in this video. Once again, I want to wish you the best in your photography future. And remember, photography is made to be seen. Thank you for watching.